So in this segment, we're going to be discussing the Rochdale by-election candidates list. And I'll tell you what, this might be one of the weirdest by-elections I've ever read about. So, yeah, the amount of parties that have had to drop their preferred candidates is 2. But it's very rare that has to happen. Forget about twice. So you've got this gentleman here, Azar Ali. He was basically deselected by the Labour Party, even though he would have been their candidate on paper because it was too late to withdraw his nomination. So Azar Ali is the Labour candidate on the Lancashire County Council and was chosen from a shortlist of 3. However, on the 12th of February, Labour had withdrawn its support from him after comments he made regarding Israel. It was too late for the party to replace Ali as a candidate. The decision means Mr. Ali will remain on the ballot as the Labour candidate for Rochdale, but if he is elected, he will sit as an independent MP because effectively they've withdrawn the whip from him if he does go in. So he made allegedly anti-Semitic comments, and he was rightfully had his the Labour Party withdrew their support, even though they claimed to be fast at it, but they weren't very fast. But anyways, you have Reverend Mark Coleman. So Reverend Mark Coleman is the preferred Green candidate, but he's not the Green candidate on paper. This gentleman seems fine. He's a climate campaigner and a Just Stop Oil supporter who was imprisoned for taking non-violent direct action, and I think he has a court appearance the day before the election, and he was arrested because of the stupid anti-protest laws. So he actually seems okay. He's one, that may be worth a shot. You got this man here, Simon Danczuk, I think that's how you pronounce his name. A former Rochdale MP is in the by-election for the Reform UK party. Wow, a former Labour guy going to Reform, what a scumbag. Simon Danczuk was elected as the Labour MP in 2010, but was suspended from the party over allegations of what he called inappropriate behaviour. Now, why the BBC don't actually list the inappropriate behaviour is beyond me, but he was banned as the candidate from Labour, pending an investigation after a tabloid newspaper revealed he sent explicit messages to a 17-year-old girl. That's why he was suspended from the Labour Party, and he was told he would not be able to stand for re-election as the Labour candidate back then. And why the BBC decided to admit this, I don't know. It's very strange. Maybe they wanted these to be quick bits. I don't know. Very, very weird. He said, this guy claims the main reason he's standing for Rochdale, in Rochdale, is because he feels like the main political parties are letting people down. You've got the Conservatives nationally who are failing to grow the economy, and that impacts adversely on our town. I don't think GDP growth is specifically going to help Rochdale, but we move. And he goes, and then secondly, they're failing in terms of illegal immigration. I'm sure all the people in Rochdale are concerned about the economy and GDP and illegal immigration. It's just out of control, and that again impacts on our town. Then locally, you've got a lazy Labour Party running the council who are not delivering, and apparently he's going after kind of the racist vote, which you can clearly see here. You got this gentleman here, Ian Donaldson, the Lib Dems. I think he seems like a fairly normal Lib Dem candidate. He's running on the failing NHS, the cost of living crisis, and the water companies polluting the rivers with filthy sewage. He said the people of Rochdale have been hammered by the double whammy of the cost of living and the NHS on its knees. This disastrous Conservative government has failed, blah, 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 blah. This, it's all pretty standard stuff. Paul Ellison, the Tory candidate, he was voted Rochdale Man of the Year in 2020 after he helped the borough gain national recognition in the Royal Horticultural Society in Bloom Awards. Mr. Ellison, who runs a landscaping firm, said, in places like Rochdale, people's aspiration can be stifled by the impacts brought about negative perceptions. If elected, I'm determined to be a champion of the borough. I mean, people's aspirations are generally stifled by the Tory party because they killed social mobility. But okay, big man. He says, I believe there is a great opportunity to show the difference, a local candidate with conservative values of working together, taking pride in your community and facilitating growth can do. Bucking the expectations of a so-called Labour safe seat. Labour can't say what they do because they don't have a plan, which means nothing will get better. I mean, you guys have a plan and it's only gotten worse. Sometimes not having a plan is better than having a trash plan. You got George Galloway. Former Labour and respected MP Galloway says he's running to teach Labour a lesson. So he's running for revenge, which is probably one of the most bizarre things I've heard. His Worker Party says it has a 10-point programme aimed at building a working-class politics in Britain. I mean, okay, whatever. I think we have working class politics, or some working class politics in Britain, but okay. He goes, it defends the achievements of the USSR, China, Cuba, etc., not least the debt owed by humanity to the Soviet Union and the Red Army in their war of liberation against German fascism. Now, I don't think many people downplay the role of the Red Army during World War Two. In fact, Stalin was given a seat at the major conferences, and he actually won a lot from World War Two in terms of expansion of the USSR. In fact, there are a lot of Eastern Bloc countries that are still very angry that Britain sold them out over that whole situation. So this idea that people don't people are kind of downplaying the role of the Red Army in World War Two is complete garbage. It's complete garbage. So yeah, the achievements of the USSR, like, it's fine. Some of these countries do have achievements. Cuba has, I think, one of the highest doctors per capita in the world. But what achievements are you specifically talking about? Surely, if you want to talk about the achievements of these three, you would have mentioned them, no? Galloway has contested by-elections in Greater Manchester before. He stood in the Gorton constituency and won 5% of the vote, which is okay. He said the main focus of his campaign will be calling for a resolution to the conflict in Gaza, adding the number of people in Rochdale vitally concerned with the issues that preoccupy me. There's probably not a constituency in the whole country where there are more people concerned about Gaza than there are in Rochdale. No more people concerned about Kashmir than there are in Rochdale. So I have been a spokesman for these causes for more than half a century in both cases. It's obvious I would be a candidate here. I mean, he'd run in most by-elections, I think. But, he did cause Labour problems in one of the previous by-elections. I don't think he got a ton of the vote, but it would have been almost enough for the Conservative candidate to win. I think it was Batley and Spen, and he is always one to watch out for because you never know what the geezer's going to do. And I think he focuses mostly on areas that have decent-sized Muslim populations because he thinks he can appeal to them with his politics. Now, I don't like Galloway as a person, so there's that, but it's a bold strategy. I don't think he'll win. I don't know what kind of percentage he'll get in the vote, but I don't think he'll win. This guy, Michael Howarth, independent. Sometimes you'll get like random independents. What I do find weird is there are two geezers with the same surname in these. Howarth. So Michael Howarth is a Rochdale born and bred businessman who owns a number of bars in the borough and works and lives in the town. He said he believed previous Rochdale MPs put their party before the town and said smartening up the town centre would be one of his priorities. He said, get the empty shops filled and the outlying areas, Millstone Road and the like. We've got to get businesses into the town, so my agenda would be to make an easier path to open a new business, whether it be a shop, whether it be printers, whatever it may be. Let's get businesses open quickly. The more business in town, the more jobs, the more... this is fine, but it's a question of how are you going to achieve that? Like, how are you going to get more business into the town? Like, are you going to cut business rates? Are you going to look at, maybe the government or the council being able to buy these empty shops and just lowering the rent on them, maybe for the first couple of years for a business to encourage it? How are you going to achieve this? And then you got William Howarth, independent. It says Billy. He says his name's William. I guess Billy would be the short of it. Is a local campaigner who co-founded the support group Parents Against Grooming UK. He has recently campaigned for better housing for people affected by damp and mould, which I can respect that. I think that's a really noble goal. He raised £500 candidate registration fee from a GoFundMe. So I don't mean to laugh. Actually, I shouldn't laugh. He said, after 30 years of child abuse cover-ups, two leaderships accompanied by failures to protect the town's constituents, I've decided this town needs to be independently represented. I am Rochdale born and bred and I have the needs of Rochdale close to my heart. I truly believe I can make the changes that this town wants and deserves. With the housing stuff, I can respect that. Because, no one should be living in an area with... no one should be living in a house with the mold and damp and things like that. You can't expect people to live with those conditions. Guy Otten, the Green Party. So this was the original Green Party candidate. Guy Otten's name will appear on the ballot paper, but soon after the campaign began, the Green Party said he'd be stepping down over criticising Palestinians and the Islamic religion. So this is the other guy who was basically deselected by the party. A Green spokesperson said the Rochdale Green Party candidate has said he has decided to leave the stage following social media posts made some years ago. And why you don't vet these candidates properly, I don't know. If people on Twitter, if random people on Twitter can find these tweets, the party machine should be able to find these tweets. The search bar exists, people. So then you've got Raven Rodent Subordinate Official Monster Raving Loon candidate. We've talked about the other ones. Leslie might as well just mention him quickly. The candidate for the official Monster Raving Loony Party. Who is funding their deposits? That's what I would know. He's the first. He would campaign for the introduction of a 99p coin. He said he would call for all roundabouts to have fairground carousel. Do you know what? I can respect this. Among his other policies is a plan for all new building housing to have hedgehog homes, to help eradicate homelessness for hedgehogs, and making sure hedgehogs had lollipop signs to help them cross the road. This I can respect. And then you've got local businessman Dave Tully. Why he wasn't tied in with the other independents, I don't know. Said he was standing to be a voice for the people of Rochdale across every community that wants to do good. So he's for good things and against bad things. He said he was calling for a reinstatement of Rochdale's maternity ward. That's good. Wanted more financial support for local businesses and would champion the community benefits of local amateur sports clubs, including the rugby league club Rochdale Mayfield, where he's a committee member. I mean, that seems like a slight conflict of interest, but we move. He added, as an independent with no allegiance to any of the parties or any political views or opinions, I just want what's best for my town and community. That's basically what I want to achieve. That's what I'm going to do. I mean, these are political beliefs, though. You know, wanting the reinstatement of a maternity ward would be, it'd be, well, I guess it'd be for more social reasons than political reasons. And the financial support for local business would be more economic reasons than political reasons. But this is all politics, more financial support for businesses, depending on what you're talking about here, would be more of a left kind of ideal, I guess. But then if you go far left, it would not be a left ideal, because they'll say the workers should own the businesses. But anyways, depending on how you think about things. So yeah, that's the list. I think this was the list on Wikipedia. So it should be quite interesting to see how it plays out. You have the late Tony Lloyd here in 2019, who did quite well, won over 50% of the vote, which is really impressive in like a kind of constituency race. He's done really well, so it'd be interesting to see how this one kind of plays out. Obviously, there's a lot more candidates because it's a by-election. I don't know. I'm hoping I can see Labour. Well, I would say I could see Labour winning, but it's not really Labour winning. Maybe we back the Lib Dem candidate or Mark Coleman. I don't know. So if you are in Rochdale and you do stumble onto this video, please let me know how you voted, if you would be so inclined. And hopefully we figure out what the hell's happening here. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.